Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Jill and today I'm going to be reviewing Empire Storms by Sarah J Maas. So me and my best friend here on BookTube, Rayanne from Reading Rayanne, decided that we were going to do a buddy read of this book, and it was just so much fun to be able to read this book and being able to talk about it with someone else. Oh my gosh. So we're both going to be doing reviews of this book. I will for sure link her review and her channel down below. Please go check her out if you haven't. She's one of my best friends in the entire world and I just love her so much. And also, just before I get started, I had to be really creative with the lighting here because it is so overcast today and I literally have no light. So I got a little creative. I don't know if it's any better than it would have been, but there are shadows. But you know, we're just gonna have to deal with that because apparently the weather is not going to cooperate with me today. So there is not much I can say about this book that's going to be spoiler free, considering that it is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series. But I will say a few spoiler free things before I get into the spoilers. The first is that the first book in this series is Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. If you haven't heard of it, it follows an assassin named Celaena Sardothien and she's badass. And then once you get past books 1 and 2, then it gets into high fantasy territory. And I love this series so much. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. It was freaking amazing. This one and Queen of Shadows are for sure my favorites in the series. I'm still not completely sure whether this one's my favorite or Queen of Shadows is my favorite, but it was so freaking good. I loved it so much. The second spoiler-free thing that I want to say is that I would highly suggest reading The Assassin's Blade before you read Queen of Shadows, but before you read this book, you have to read The Assassin's Blade. You are going to be very confused about references and about certain events that happen in this book, and you're just gonna miss a lot of stuff if you haven't read The Assassin's Blade before you get into this book. So you have to. So if you've been holding off, trying to be a rebel, trying to not read those novellas because you're I don't need to read those novellas, you definitely need to before you get into this book. And the third thing I want to say is that I am very, very well aware of the controversy surrounding Sarah J Maas and her books about lacking diversity and all that jazz. Overall, it didn't really detract from my overall enjoyment of the book. I am aware of it, but it didn't really affect my reading experience. So yeah. So that's all I'm going to say. That's going to be in the spoiler-free portion of this video. Please read it, come back, because I'm about to fangirl so hard and you're not going to want to miss it because I'm about to go off because there were so many things that happened in this book that I'm just what? Go and read it and come back and then we can discuss it. Rowan Whitethorn Galathynius. Alright, now that little moment is over, so I attempted to write notes for this. I tried to go in chronological order and that didn't work. And my notes are pretty ridiculous, so this review is gonna go all over the place in the book, and I'm sorry, I tried. The first scene I want to talk about are when the Iron Witches are attacking Rifthold and Dorian is there, and Aelin sends Rowan to go rescue Dorian, and I'm like,
oh god, they're being separated. Oh god, Rowan is separating from Aelin. No, stop.
I didn't want them to be separated, but at the same time I was like, we're going to get some Rowan Dorian bro bonding time, which I was living for, so that sort of made up for my feelings in that portion. So we have a Dorian, of course, kicking ass, and then we have those Yellow Legs coming in, and then Manon coming up from wherever she came from and defending Dorian and saving his life, and then we have Rowan coming in, and then Rowan and Dorian escape, and then they start their journey to Pirates Bay, and we do get some really wonderful Rowan Dorian bonding time. And I just really loved the fact that Dorian says, Aelin didn't teach me anything about magic. I don't know anything about magic. Can you teach me, Rowan? And Rowan's like, okay, sure. And then they start doing small little magic things, and I just love them so much because we've never actually seen Rowan and Dorian together, and it was such a great thing, and I just really think that their personalities work really well together, and I just love them together so much. And I just want to talk a little bit about Dorian because this is one of the best things in this book, in my opinion, is Dorian. I'm not really sure why I felt this, but so in Throne of Glass we got to see him as the main ship for Celaena, and you know, I thought he was cute. It was fine. I thought Throne of Glass sort of moved way too quickly, so I wasn't completely on board with that ship. So we see him like a pretty good amount in Throne of Glass. We don't really see him in Crown of Midnight. We see him a little bit in Heir of Fire. In Queen of Shadows, we all know he's all demoned out and everything, so we don't really get to see him in that book. But this book, we get to see him so much more. He's not like my second favorite male character in the series. I love him so much. We get to see him being powerful. I love his magic. I think it's so cool. I think he's so cute. He has some very sexy scenes with Manon in this book, and I'm just living for Dorian. So then we have Rowan and Dorian arriving in Pirates Bay. We get to meet two more members of Rowan's little band of brothers. What is it called? We get to meet Gabrielle, who is Adian's father, and then we get to meet Fenris, who is just such a dear. I love him. And this is where that Assassin's Blade knowledge comes in, because if you remember, Rolf was a huge player in the first novella in the Assassin's Blade. Then we get to probably my favorite like scene that wasn't actiony in this book, which is when we get the Selena reveal thing. Okay, Rowan and Dorian and Rolf are just like strolling down the hall to Rolf's office, and they open it up, and lo and behold, there is Aelin dressed as Selena Sardathian sitting in Rolf's desk chair with her legs propped up on the desk. So I was like, this is what happened in the Assassin's Blade, yeah? And I looked it up, and it was, this was probably my biggest, like, the best reveal ever, is that in the Assassin's Blade, this is the same exact position where Selena's in when Rolf walks in the first time, when she's like there with Sam, and he's like, get your feet off of my desk. And so it was just, the parallels were so good. And like, if you didn't read the Assassin's Blade, you wouldn't have gotten that like awesome thing that Sarah J Maas did. And then we have Lysandra dressed up as Aelin walking through the door, and I'm like, oh my god, this scene is the best. And Rowan is just like, what the hell? And then we get that scene where Aelin's like, yeah, it took me so long for me to hide my scent from you all day so that I can surprise you. Oh, that scene was so freaking good. And then we get into the first epic battle of the book. So we have basically Aelin sending out like this burst of magic that like draws these people into the island. And she does this in order so that she can manipulate Rolf into signing the alliance with her. Just that scene where we see Rowan and Aelin having to be chained by iron so that they don't get lost in their magic. And we just have Rowan and Aelin being badasses. And then we have that moment when that god Diana comes through Aelin and like possesses her, and then Diana's like, I'm going to destroy this entire town. And then Rowan jumps in front of her, and then later we learn that he does that because deep down he knew that him and Aelin were mates, and so there was no way that Aelin could actually hurt Rowan. The action in that scene was so well done. We have Lysandra as a sea dragon attacking those creatures, and this scene had my heart about to explode. I was so nervous, but then we had like Dorian, Aiden, and Lysandra like tag team, and everything ended up okay. But oh my gosh, that scene almost gave me a heart attack. And then we have Aiden of course saying to Lysandra, I'm going to marry you one day, Lysandra, mark my words. And I'm just like, swoon. And then of course after that we get the Rowan Aelin sex scene. Dear God, finally. You think the sexual tension was bad in Queen of Shadows? It's like amped up to 150 in Empire of Storms. And then we get to the actual scene, and I loved it very, very much. Another epic scene is when Aelin walks out to the forest and just completely burns the entire army that Erewhon sent to the ground. That scene was fantastic, and this is when we meet up with Elide and Locron. So we've sort of been getting their storyline throughout the novel. I'm just gonna touch briefly on them. Honestly, I really love them together. I think they're like so freaking cute, and Elide is amazing. I love Elide so much, and I think I'm very interested to see how their relationship progresses. It's definitely not my favorite in the book, but it was very cute. Oh crap, I didn't even talk about Manon yet. Okay, so we have that amazing scene with Manon and her grandmother. I feel like this is everyone's like favorite scene. I was completely totally convinced that Manon was going to kill Asterin, but she didn't, and she turns on her grandmother, and then her grandmother like rips her guts out, and then Manon is struggling through the forest, and the bloodhound comes and gets her, and that just broke my heart. Manon has never been my absolute favorite character. I know lots of people love her. She's never been my absolute favorite, but oh, I felt so much for her. And then we have Abraxos taking Manon to the ship where Aelin and everyone is on. And then we get like some sexy Manon Dorian scenes. I love Manon and Dorian. They are definitely not my favorite as of now because it seems like it is a very like lust-filled relationship right now. They like just need to sit down and have like a feelings talk, and then I think I'm gonna love them way more, because right now it just seems to just be like hooking up and that kind of stuff. But I think they could be really powerful together, and I'm excited to see where that relationship goes. Oh, and then we have that like Aelin Rowan baby scare. We have like Aelin like leaving and throwing up, and then Rowan thinking that she is pregnant, and I'm just sitting there reading it
like this is not the time, guys. This is not the time to have children. Not right now. Please don't stop.
Turns out to be like a million times worse than that. Now I'm just going to go to the ending. So we basically go to that island, we get that mirror thing, and no one really knows what it does, and then Dorian, this is so funny. Then we have Dorian waking up like in the middle of the night when they're like on the eve of being attacked by Maeve's forces. And we just have Dorian saying, I have an idea, guys. And he goes and he gets Aelin, and then he gets Manon, and he's like, put on some clothes, I have an idea. They're like, sure, why not? And then they follow him into the thing, and he's like, okay, guys, so like your fire and like your iron, I think you guys can like step into this mirror and it's gonna tell you something. Aren't I like so smart? And Aelin and Manon are like, sure, why not? I mean, like, we're on the brink of war right now, but may as well just like walk into a foreign object because Dorian thinks that's a good idea. Basically, it's revealed that Aelin has to die because Alina was a freaking idiot. So that's really heartbreaking. Meanwhile, we have the wonderful, wonderful action scene with Rowan and his family. We have the scene where Rowan goes to each of his cousins and begs him to turn on Maeve's forces, and they do, and they're flying the Whitethorn flag, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, Rowan's family, I love them so much. And then Aedion and Lysandra and everyone is just kicking ultimate ass on that last battle. And then we have Aelin and Manon coming out of the mirror, and lo and behold, there is Maeve. Long story short, Maeve takes Aelin, and it completely broke my heart. Then Rowan comes, and oh my god, him and Aedion just like sitting on the beach being like, oh my freaking god, our girl, our queen, has been taken by like the most evil person in the entire world, and she's being whipped, and she has to go with that absolute creepy asshole, what's his name? And then to like make it even worse is that it's revealed that Aelin doesn't expect them to even come after her. She's prepared everything. Basically, Lysandra's going to shapeshift into Aelin, and she's going to have children with Aedion. In the public sky, Rowan is going to be fathering the children, but it's actually going to be Aedion and Lysandra. And then Aedion is just so upset that no one told him this was the plan, and that he's going to have to father these children that are supposed to be Aelin and Rowan's, and oh my gosh. I also see that she got so many alliances. This also goes back to the Assassin's Blade. She's called in all of these debts. Now Terrasen has a army to rattle the stars, I think it says, and I'm just like, Aelin, bless your soul. It's revealed that Aelin and Rowan actually got married, so Rowan is officially the king consort of Terrasen. Everyone is not okay. I know Ryan and I were talking, and you're like, no one is okay in this book. And then to make it even worse, everyone starts separating. We have Dorian and Manon going to go get those other witches to join the alliance. Then we have Aedion, Lysandra as Aelin, and all the other armies going to Terrasen to defend the homeland. And then we have Alid, Locron, Gabrielle, and Rowan all going to rescue Aelin, and everyone separated, and it makes me really anxious when everyone gets separated. And so as soon as I finished this book, I automatically started thinking, okay, now what the hell is going to happen in the next book? How are we going to get out of this shit? How are we going to save Aelin? Because I cannot accept that Aelin's going to die in this book. I can't accept that. The thing says that you have to give up your life, and it is revealed that Aelin is going to settle, so Aelin is going to be immortal. So I'm thinking maybe Aelin can give up her immortal life. But if Aelin gives up her immortal life, then she's not going to be able to be with Rowan like forever. But there was this thing that's mentioned, I think at the beginning of the book, that said that sometimes mates can like give up their their immortal light so that they can live out their lives with their mates. So Rowan might be able to do that. Also, there's the whole thing to where was it going to be Aelin or it's going to be Dorian. So maybe Dorian and Aelin can like combine together and give up their magic or do something together that will produce the amount of magic that it's going to take to seal this gate and have the gods all go back. But I'm just so nervous. I'm ridiculously nervous for what's going to happen. Going out of Empire Storms, I've come to terms with the fact that I don't think Aelin and Rowan are going to be okay at the end of this. Either it's going to be to where they're going to be mortal or they're not going to have powers or Aelin's going to die, God forbid.
I can't deal with it.
I have such a deep, true love for all of these characters, and like no one has actually died up to this point. Like no one, like besides like Nehemia and them, like there's not any like major court members who have died, and you know that they're going, like someone's gonna have to die in this last book. So yeah, I think that basically sums up my general thoughts on Empire of Storms. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Please give it a like if you did and subscribe if you are new here. Definitely go check out Ray Ann's video that I'm going to be linking it down below. I have my Goodreads, Twitter, personal Instagram, and Bookstagram all linked down below for you guys. Yeah, thanks again so much for watching. I'll see you guys later in another video. Bye!